What if the real secret to unlocking amazing employee performance isn't some fancy new training program? What if it's something way more fundamental? Well, a 2020 study in the Global Business Review actually uncovered this hidden factor, something that can make or break a company's efforts to motivate its team. And today, we're going to unlock that secret. Seriously, take a second and think about it. When you start your day, are you genuinely fired up and ready to go, or are you kind of just going through the motions? Your answer matters more than you probably think. Because this number, 87%, it represents a massive disconnect that a staggering number of people are feeling in the modern workplace. That's right. This comes from a huge Gallup survey. We're talking 1.4 million employees across 142 countries. And it found that the vast majority of people are just not invested in their jobs. They're not connected. Okay, so let's really let this sink in. Just that tiny little sliver of the workforce, only 13% feels truly engaged. This isn't just a handful of people having a bad week. Nope, this is a colossal, systemic problem for businesses all over the world. And you better believe a problem this big comes with a very, very high price tag. $550 billion. That is the estimated cost of lost productivity from disengaged employees every single year, and that's just in the US economy. It's an absolutely mind-boggling figure that just shows how much potential is being wasted. But hey, look at the flip side. The companies that actually crack this code, the ones that figure out engagement, the returns are incredible. We're talking 21% higher productivity, 22% more profit, and a 10% jump in customer ratings. I mean, the incentive to fix this is just massive. So naturally, when companies are staring down this problem, what do? Most of them reach for the exact same solution: invest more in their people. It seems like the totally logical first step, right? And this solution, it falls under this big umbrella term, developmental HR practices. Basically, these are all the programs and policies a company uses to help its employees grow, things like offering new training or mapping out career paths. Now, what's really interesting is that the study we're diving into today focused on these three specific things. The researchers really wanted to know, if we provide more training, clearer career paths, and better performance reviews, will that finally solve the engagement crisis? But here's the twist. When the researchers started digging into the data, they found something weird. These programs, as well-intentioned as they were, they didn't always work. The results were just all over the map. For some companies, these initiatives were a game changer. But for others, they were a total waste of time and money. And it was this inconsistency that really puzzled the researchers and made them dig a whole lot deeper. If these programs aren't the magic bullet, then what is? What's that hidden variable that actually determines whether these things succeed or totally fail? Well, the study found the answer. And honestly, it completely changes how we should think about engagement. It's not about the programs themselves, it's all about the environment they live in. The secret ingredient? It's something called the service climate. Okay, so in simple terms, the service climate is basically the vibe of the workplace. It's what employees feel the company actually values day in and day out. Do managers really truly reward amazing customer service? Does the company actually have your back when you go the extra mile? It's the difference between what's written on a poster on the wall and what happens in reality. And this right here perfectly illustrates the core finding. The service climate acts like an amplifier for all those HR programs. In a weak climate where great service isn't really valued, even the best development programs just fall flat. But in a strong climate, those exact same programs have a massive impact on engagement. The environment literally turns up the volume on how effective they are. So, how does this actually turn into a practical blueprint for a company? Let's get into the specifics of what the study found. So, to get these results, the researchers surveyed 277 banking employees in Pakistan. And you might be wondering, why them? Well, because a high-pressure, customer-facing industry like banking is the absolute perfect laboratory to see how a service-focused environment really impacts engagement out there on the front lines. And here's what they found. The study confirmed that, yes, offering training and career development opportunities definitely boosts engagement. But, and this is the key, only if a strong service climate is already in place. The interesting exception was performance appraisals. It seems like getting direct, constructive feedback is a powerful tool all on its own, no matter the climate. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's pretty clear. You can't just have one without the other. Investing in awesome development programs without building a strong service climate, well, that's like trying to grow a plant without any sunlight. Real, lasting engagement only happens when you have supportive programs inside an equally supportive environment.
And that brings us right back to you. Think about your own job. Is the environment you work in turning up the volume on your skills and your potential, or is it turning it down? The answer to that question might just be the most important factor in your entire career.